It's the Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul, the podcast about stories in business and in life, with your hosts Ed Fox and Paul Odendahl. G'day viewers and listeners, it's Ed Fox and Paul Odendahl with the Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul. And our special guest, Richard, and I don't know, you'd think I would have checked into this. Richard, how do I pronounce your last name?
It's Polanco.
Polanco.
Exactly.
Okay.
Richard, help these people from Australia. Polanco.
Yeah.
And at that point, welcome, Richard. Thanks for coming on the show. You don't know what you've let yourself in for. Paul.
You know how we start our shows, Richard? Usually,
Uh,
we start our shows by asking our guests, do you know anything about Sweden?
I know that they are. Oh no, I'm thinking about Switzerland.
That's what he meant, actually. It's been a while.
See, it's been a while. What the hell do I know about different countries? Switzerland. Do you know anything about Switzerland?
I know that they're considered to be. I forget the word now. In between.
Neutral?
Yeah, exactly. Neutral. There you go.
I don't know anything about Switzerland except that I do know its flag's a big plus.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. And there's our dad joke to get us started.
I like this one too. So I went to a small zoo in Kentucky the other day. It was so small it only had one exhibit. It was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu. There you go. That's the best I can do. That's all I got for you. It's been a while. We're kind of a little rusty. So you caught us. Paul's just come off a bout of laryngitis, and I've just come off a bout of laziness. So between
And a bout of broken arm.
a broken arm.
Broken arm. Yeah. Now I have the bionic titanium arm.
That's right.
Watch out, Aaron Judge.
We had the ability to rebuild him. Well, not me personally, but doctors. So, Richard, tell me about. I don't know anything about you. What do you do?
Well, again, my name is Richard Polanco, and I am a loan officer as well as a branch owner, and I'm located here in Ellenville, New York. Basically, I help people to achieve their dreams in regards to home loans and purchasing their first home.
And how long have you been doing that for?
I've been in the mortgage industry for about 15 years, but actively doing loans for about 10 years now.
Okay. And you know what the bison said to his son when his son wanted to borrow 5 cents?
No, I do not.
He says, would we call this a buffer loan?
Yeah. That was another dad joke there, right?
That's right. Yeah, I am known for my dad jokes. So sorry you have to put up with that. So what should people know about you? How many states can you work in? What's an ideal client look like for you? And you can answer those in any order.
How about what state are you in?
Well, I'm in New York State.
Okay.
We'll pray for you. We'll pray for you.
Exactly. And I can loan in 48 of the 50 states. The only 2 states we do not loan in is Alaska and Hawaii.
Alaska, Hawaii, you're out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, guys. Go to Rocket Mortgage for those.
No, I wouldn't wish Rocket Mortgage on anybody. Oh, sorry, Rocket Mortgage. If you're
This is why we have no sponsors. This is why we lose sponsors. We always offend somebody on this show.
Who else can we offend? Lending Tree, Rocket Mortgage, Legal Zoom. Yeah. They all fit.
As long as it's not ICG. Do not offend ICG.
ICG is the bomb.
There you
It took
go.
me 6.5 years to get this person on the call.
Yeah. So now a little bit about what I believe differentiates me from other banks, especially the bigger ones, is definitely my ability to work with people that may not be qualified right out of the gate. So these are people that maybe have not saved enough money or their credit is not up to par. And I'll take those individuals on and I'll go as far as helping them to set up a financial plan to save what they need to save in order to get into the home. If their credit is not up to par, then we review their credit, we give them suggestions, and we're actually able to rescore them within 5 days of them making major changes on their credit. So this way, if they're in a rush, we're able to get them into a house sooner than later. Whereas the bigger banks, like, ones mentioned before, if you are not the perfect scorecard, then you get tossed aside. And unfortunately, a lot of Americans are not the perfect scorecard, including myself. Sometimes you need help. And I'm always willing to help. The reason I got into this industry is because I love people. And to me, it feels great to help a person achieve their dream. Like buying your first home, that's a huge dream, but it's also a huge stress. So if I can help you get to there, and minimize your stress and keep the happiness on a high level, then that's great. And then even when people have like debt, a huge amount of debt, but they own their home, that's another way that I love to help people, because I can easily give you a loan that will reduce your debt or your monthly payments and reduce the interest that you're paying on them. And who can't use extra money every month, especially in this time?
Yeah, I heard in New York State, they're looking to change the name of a HELOC to a they, them, or gender neutral lock.
Yeah, exactly.
The jokes never end.
I just
Yeah.
made that one up. That's pretty
But,
good.
but we have
That
to
was a good
find out-
joke.
We have to find out what pronoun they want to use,
That's
because
right.
you could they, them.
That's right. Exactly.
So do you have
um,
different pronouns from different mortgages or oh, wait a minute, we're going off track here.
Yeah.
You know what, Richard, it's a blessing to have you here
Thank you.
and know that you have the heart to help people who are less fortunate and give them an opportunity for the American dream to own their own home. And
Definitely.
it's good to know that you can help individuals with lower income or lower credit scores so they can purchase things like the Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul coffee cup, which is sometimes a little expensive for people to purchase.
I've
Of
lost
course,
one.
my co-host never has his damn cup. He just drinks out of a bottle because he'll tell you he's a raving alcoholic from Australia. But go ahead.
That's right. That's right. I got deported because I don't drink, actually. They put a nipple on a can of Foster's as a 2-year-old, and if you can't down it in 30 seconds, you're shipped off to the Bible Belt. So I was shipped off to Wichita, Kansas for 30 years, married the most wonderful wife in the world. That's trademark. So she puts up with a lot of my crap.
And me too.
So Richard, hey, you know what I thought of straight away as Richard was talking? We've had somebody on this show that we need to connect him with. Eileen Dawson.
Absolutely.
Eileen and him should have a one-to-one, and folks, that's what we do. Paul and I, go ahead, Paul.
See how bad I am at interrupting. By the way, co-host, Richard is our newest member to the BNI family.
Oh, wow, cool. Congratulations. I'm going to write this down as a one-to-one then.
Yeah, definitely. Me too, then.
I get left out, of course.
Yeah.
I put in a one-to-one for you and me every month, Paul. So, okay.
That's
so
an understatement.
what are you finding as the biggest challenge in growing your business?
Well, I've always used one form of marketing, and I'm now starting to expand to different forms of marketing.
Knee breakers, like if they don't buy the mortgage through you, you break their knees.
Here in New York, we use bats. We use bats, not the ones that fly around for insects, but actual bats like Aaron Judge.
Yep.
No, and
Should
I'm
have my
doing
cricket bat sitting
I'm
right.
doing hair pulling too.
Right.
That's one way to get people to.
Thank God I have no hair.
Yeah.
I won't make a good customer for Richard. Too bald.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'll grab you somewhere and drag you in.
That's TMI, people, TMI. So, okay, so sorry, back on your point.
Oh.
So what marketing have you used mostly?
Okay, so mostly I've been using online marketing like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and advertisements on those platforms.
Right.
But now I'm going to start incorporating print marketing, radio ads, billboards, and things of this nature, just to get more of the local community in the door.
Exposure.
Yeah, because what I really want to do, and the reason that I opened in Ellenville, is because Ellenville is up and coming. It's definitely right before a boom. And I want to get people into homes as much as possible here in the area so that they can benefit from the increase in price of real estate in the next 2 or 3 years.
Right. Well, and one of the things I wanted to highlight is you've been doing this, you said 10 years?
Yes.
How many times have we gone in and talked to a mortgage person or a loan person And oh yeah, I've been here 3 days. I've been here 3 weeks. I've been here 3 months, but not 10 years. So I think that is something that you should highlight is
Okay.
I've been doing this for 10 years, guys. People in the mortgage industry come and go pretty quickly, a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
And you have a great company backing you. They're well known, right? They've been around for a lot. How long have they been around for?
They've been around for 17, 18 years, I think, at
Right.
this point.
So more than a day. You know,
Yeah.
they're not fly by night. And I would think that if we are heading into a recession, and some, you know, the jury's still out, although Paul and I are pretty sure that it's going to be a recession. We're going to see the shysters and the fly by nighters go, right?
Yeah, sure.
So that's one of the things I think are important too. Now, what Paul and I like to do is we like to help people that come on the call. What are some of the concerns you have in these new forms of marketing that you might not be well versed in? Anything that is, you know, just sticking in your head and you're like, man, I'm not sure, or I don't know how, or anything like that?
Well, my major concern is lack of experience. And the way I've been attempting to tackle that is by educating myself more.
Right.
So like I have a book, here, I'll show you. So, you know, I'm not lying. Oh,
Yep.
you can see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to see with the background.
Gotta love.
What's the name of the book?
It's
What's the
called
name of?
The Mortgage Marketing Manifesto.
Oh.
And this basically, I just, you know, learning. So this way I make sure that I can make the most educated decisions possible, because obviously marketing of any kind is always a risk. There's money going out and you have to keep track to see if there's money going to come back in from those marketing, you know, from the marketing that you're trying to accomplish.
Have you read so far in that book and that manifesto, excuse me, and you're learning,
Yes.
have you read that marketing in the mortgage business is much different than marketing in other businesses?
Definitely. And I knew this before even getting onto the book, because there's a lot of regulations as to what you can say, specifically when you start talking numbers. And, you know, there is a bunch of things that you can say in marketing ads in regards to numbers and down payments, but I try to shy away from that. And especially because to me, in any regard, whenever you throw out a number, to me, it's a bait and switch, because I can throw out one number, but how many people are actually going to meet for that one number? In reality, you don't know. So instead of saying, hey, I can get you a 3.5% down loan, I don't say that. I can say I can get you a loan with a low down payment, because we need to figure out your specific situation to see what we can provide you. So, you know, so I knew that up front, that I had to be careful what I say. I can't make any guarantees or promises, and because it can get me in trouble.
Well, I think you've got two great things that you can promote, right? You're the magic in your business.
Yes.
Okay, especially when you're marketing to your local communities, right? So you're the magic, and you've got a great company backing you, right?
Mhm.
So those two things are things that you can accentuate. Now, if Paul or I say anything that violates any rules or regulations or what you have either through the company or through your industry, then obviously flush it, right? Because I don't know the mortgage industry. I just know marketing. Paul's got a lot more experience in insurance and some of those compliance issues that could translate over. But the thing I like, there's some great tools to grow yourself in your local market, right? And one of the greatest ways to do that, you don't have to be an influencer that is worldwide and has 40 million Instagram followers or Twitter like you, Paul. Yeah, you don't have to have an egg as a head with a beard and some headphones on like Paul, or a hat. You know, I have a, but what you do have to have is you have to have something that is interesting to talk about.
Mhm.
And all of us that are trying to buy houses or have bought houses and want to buy more properties, that sort of thing, you're the guy we need to talk to, right?
Definitely.
So what makes me move from the mortgage guy I use to you? And that's what you have to think about. Now, there's also, see, that's my, so I'm using a G'day Mate background with an Australian motif. But I'll go back to my wake up call with Ed and Paul. But I just wanted to show that off. So, folks, if you're listening on the podcast, then you need to go to the YouTube channel so you can see that. But if you ever need any help, I'm going to do a commercial here, Paul. Is that okay with you?
That's fine. You're blocking my Bitmoji, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I'm using my microphone right, covering Paul's
Bad head. Go ahead.
nether bits. Well, I'm actually covering the bottom half of Paul.
Get to the damn commercial.
So, if you need help with Zoom backgrounds or anything like that, I love doing that stuff. So reach out to me through the show notes, and I can pull some Zoom backgrounds together for you so that your logo isn't sitting in the middle of the screen, Richard, and is up in the corner where people can actually see what it is. So
Good point, Ed.
I had to bend the wake up call around Paul and my head, but Paul loses out a little bit because I sit up taller in my seat and he loses out. Anyway, but if I can help you with that, reach out. So back to the regularly scheduled program, folks.
And one of his biggest fans is a woman who's been on our show by the name of Marie Vega Byrne. She really appreciates his background, artistic. What word am I looking for, Ed? Creative.
Creative. There you go.
Ability. There you go. Creative ability to build backgrounds. Richard's background needs to be built because it looks like he's blocking half his house.
There you go.
He's blocking all of ICG.
Right. So anyway, back to the point, Richard. I would think, and Paul, chime in if you think differently. But you just joined BNI, right? So you're a BNI member. That to me has been super successful for my businesses, both in Wichita, Kansas, and Nashville, Tennessee. I've been in big BNI groups that have been helpful. Alignable. Paul and I met through Alignable, and Alignable is like a hyper local LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to plug into Alignable and become the expert in your area. So there you go, Paul. Paul's changed his background to an Alignable. He is highly recommended and was one of the top 25 business mentors in the United States out of 7
Wonderful. That's wonderful. I ended up number 10. That was a blessing. But you know what?
10.
Even though I ended up number 10 and the only male in the top 10, how about that? I was number 10 and the only male in the top 10. 1 through 9 were all female. We got a lot of incredible females out there. God bless you. That means nothing because Ed Fox, my co-host in the top 25, had he was the only one with 2 different businesses in the top 25. I applaud him.
That's awesome.
So we have a mutual appreciation society, which is why we met on a Zoom call back in 2020 and have just hit it off. And that's why we're doing the podcast. And sometimes our wives will come in on a Saturday when we've been talking and they're like, can you take us to dinner? And we're like, well, we've only been on for an hour. They're like, oh, it's going on 6 hours that you guys have been talking. I don't know what the hell we talked about for 6 hours. I don't. Anyway, back to Richard. Richard's the point that we're here. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Richard, I would look at what can you do differently that fits with compliance. And I don't know if you know this or not, but for the first time ever, viewership on TikTok has watched more hours of videos on TikTok than on YouTube. Now, YouTube used to be the #1 video platform. Now TikTok is the #1 video platform. So if you don't have a TikTok channel talking about, maybe you just do a video a week about the 3 tips about mortgage. So you probably have an FAQ, right? Like the top 25 questions that people ask you.
I'm actually incorporating that now.
Right. So the top 25 questions, that's 25 videos you can make for TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. So you can just record it on Zoom, throw it in Canva in the mobile format, and then send it out to TikTok and LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook in the stories, YouTube stories. So that would become the expert and find a hook, right? What sets you apart? Yeah, it's funny when you talk to people about and you ask them what sets you and your company apart from your competition, they all say the same thing. We give better customer service.
Yeah.
We have better quality products. You know what? Me as the consumer, I'm sitting there hearing that from everybody.
Yeah.
So you need something that makes you different. You need something that you stand out. So one of the things you can talk about is you've been a loan officer for 10 years. That cuts out probably 90% of mortgage loan officers,
Oh, man.
right? So,
Okay.
wow, you've just weeded out 90% of your competition.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Then you talk about how
I
much,
help people get loans that have difficulty getting loans.
right?
That's huge
Yeah,
in
definitely.
today's society. That's huge.
Like giving some debt reduction tips or giving some credit improving tips, you know, and then so you can become a local influencer. Like I was talking about before I got distracted, we can talk about as a local influencer, that could be 1,000 people on your TikTok. That could be 1,000 people on your LinkedIn. Doesn't need to be a lot to have impact. And then also getting out there and networking. I know you're not allowed to meet in person in New York right now, or maybe, what is it this week? Monkeypox or something, you know? So folks, if you're listening to this, we're recording it August 9th, 2022. Who knows what's around the corner? But right now, I think it's between COVID and monkeypox.
Monkeypox is big in Ulster County. That was just put out into the news earlier this week. So a
Oh,
big
wow.
spread in Ulster County,
Yeah.
which is where Rich is located.
Yeah, you know, my name's Ed Fox and I suffer from foxiness. So, you know, I can't.
And bad dad jokes. And bad dad jokes. You
jokes.
got to
I've
give
lived-
him credit for that too.
I've lived with it all my life.
But I do support our call and I use my cup. So
Thank you. I don't know what I did with my cup. I probably packed it away.
archived it. Archived it.
Yeah, with your little video name tag. Oh, my video name tag died the other day. Anyway, so one of the things you can get from Amazon is a $20 scrolling video name tag or a scrolling marquee name tag. They're $20. So when you do get to go out in person, you would be the only one with that.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So that would be a way to differentiate. The other thing is find a shtick that you like. Like I like wearing crazy Hawaiian shirts and my American flag Hawaiian shirt. So my American flag shirt goes on whenever I'm doing a podcast. You can't see the mustard I spilt from the hot dog the other day, but it's been washed. I've got 3 of these, and so they go into rotation. One's a 3X. It sort of floats on me because I've lost a bit of weight. But that's what I'm using to differentiate, right? I bought some American flag Crocs. And so when I go out on who would go out on a business call, folks, I'm holding them up. You can't see if you're listening to the podcast. American flag Crocs, who would go out on a business call in these? That's not very professional. But you know what?
I'm not very professional. We already established that.
I love your Crocs. And I go, well, I'm not really a salesman, but I guess I want to sell you on the idea I'm being on my podcast. So is that called solicitation? Or what if I give you a bad dad joke? Is that solicitation? Yeah. I should carry a koala under my arm and say, hey, I'm highly qualified. Paul,
Yeah.
Paul got some of his own koalas. But do these things help you? Do you see the value in this stuff, Richard?
Yeah, definitely. No, differentiating yourself is very important.
Richard, look how qualified I am.
You're
Paul
very
is holding up
qualified.
4 different koalas. He's out koala'd me.
I am highly qualified.
We you know what? We're goofballs. We just have fun with this. And you know what? Helping people makes you money, right? If you're helping people, you can make money. You don't even have to ask for it. You make money by helping other people. Here's all my qualifications and my seal of quality down there. Seal of quality.
Yeah.
So you can check out the video on YouTube. There's nothing but dad jokes today, folks. I am having a blast, and we're almost out of time. Paul,
You notice it's a competitive show.
it is competitive. There's Paul Odendahl's official seal of quality. I don't know about that goofy guy in the top left, but you know, the rest of it's pretty good. So, Paul, do you have any tips for Richard?
Well, you know what? This happens often on our podcast. 1, he does need to meet Eileen. 2, I think he should come back because I just happen to know, since I know Richard, that he has another career that he's about to launch, which is actually going to work extremely well with his current business.
Yes.
And he also hasn't shared with us, because he's a very modest guy, he hasn't shared with us that he is partners with his brother and has a big office down in Long Island
Oh, wow. Cool.
with many mortgage originators. So we have people that listen to our podcast from the United States to Australia. Of course, in Australia, they have no idea where the hell Long Island is, other than if they're watching Shark Week. And then
Yes.
they'll see the number of of humans being eaten off the coast of Long Island.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've had a lot of shark attacks. So I think he needs to come back again, but he needs to meet Eileen. We need to talk more about marketing because you and I know a little bit about marketing, a little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit we can help him with marketing.
definitely. I mean,
And the reason I asked that question before, because I'm always interested in learning. So yes, thank you for the compliment, Ed, about compliance. I've been dealing with compliance since 1982. What year is this? Damn. Um, and I was interested in seeing if there's a big difference between marketing and mortgage and marketing and trade bank.
The trade bank, for those that don't know, is a business to business barter exchange, and that's BARTER, barter. Somebody said the other day, they said, butter? You got a butter exchange? Like, isn't that up in Wisconsin? I said, no, barter.
No, that's in the Dutch area of Pennsylvania.
There you go. Yeah. Churning.
I don't know, the butter exchange sounds better than.
I don't know. Yeah, you can't really do mortgages through a barter exchange or a butter exchange for that matter.
But I do like butter.
But you know what? People forget, Paul, and I think I heard this from you. People forget that you don't market to businesses, you market to people. People do business with people. People don't do business with businesses. You ever walked into a store and got a crappy service person and you're like, I'm never going back there again? Nothing wrong with the business. Just the person behind the counter was having a bad day and you don't go back. So,
and that was your point. And another reason to have Richard back is that we were trying to differentiate the difference between ICG mortgage and Richard.
Right. Yeah. So I would use things on your video like how many years you've done service. Like you could always have that scroll across the top on your videos. If you don't know how to edit those, it's pretty easy to find somebody on Fiverr, Upwork. I got a contact. My daughter's doing that stuff. She does a great job. So if you need that, I can get it for you. But there's little things that you can do. But Paul, what's your take?
I've mentioned it 5 times. You're not paying attention to me.
I am, but I want you to expand on that idea, please.
Expand on the idea of how he should market.
Sure.
We mentioned this. He needs to meet Eileen
Yes.
because collaboration is more powerful than competition.
Definitely.
True.
Definitely more powerful. That's why I want him to come back, because I introduced him to a virtual insurance business
Oh, wow.
that's different than any other type of insurance business we have here in the Hudson Valley. And Richard is becoming part of that team. So collaboration versus competition is powerful.
Definitely.
And he has 2 people on this call, though the call is about our guest, not about us. He has 2 people on this call that can assist him with marketing.
Right.
And we have many different marketing ideas. And I believe even some of the tools that we use can fit in the compliance area.
Okay.
Because I don't think he's as heavily complianced as we are in the insurance and financial services industry.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of things we can do to support Richard. And that's what you and I are about, supporting other small business. And we're thankful that you came on, Richard, and shared about your business in Ellenville, New York.
Yeah.
Do you
no,
have
I-
any last questions for Richard? We can take a little bit of time. We haven't done one of these for a few weeks. So
Well, what I, we never ask. And I don't know if you ask it on a podcast, but we do podcasts differently than all other podcasters.
true.
So we should ask Richard feedback. We get feedback from other people that have been on our podcast. We get members like our mental health expert, Michael Weitzman, who continues to pester us and cause us a mental health condition, asking us, how soon will you have the damn thing edited so I can get a copy of it, which is good because it
They're all
supports
up.
Ed and I too, and he sends it all over the place. So
Right.
he wants to send it on his platform, and here you are suggesting to Richard about a video. So this is another opportunity for Richard to spread his business. So we should ask Richard, what value did you find in being on today's podcast? Did you see value in the things that we've discussed?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the major values is the collaboration, just like you said, between all three of us, because, three minds are better than one. And I definitely appreciate the advice and, you giving me background on your experience, letting me know that, hey, these things can work for you as well. So it's definitely valuable, very fun. I love the jokes back and forth because, you don't want the podcast to be stuffy and stiff because then nobody's going to be interested in it. So
Yeah, and two Eds are always better than one.
yeah, exactly.
And 3 Eds are better than 2, but I don't have a video with 3 Eds, only 2.
But now I'm interested in starting my own butter exchange.
There you go.
Big
There you
time.
go. Oh, there's a big rock. You can build that. You can build on that rock. So, Richard,
Mhm.
if somebody is interested in finding out more and they live in one of the states, which is everything except Hawaii and Alaska, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Well, I just for the most part, have finished redesigning my website, and that's icgellenville.com. And for those that don't know how to spell Ellenville because they're not from around here, it'll be ICGELLENV as in Victor, ILLE.com. And that has all my information, all my contact information, the main number for the branch, all the emails, and a bunch of ways to enter in your information and give it to me.
Cool. And another thing I might
Sure.
suggest is look at something like a link tree. If you haven't ever done a link tree is pretty good to keep all that stuff out there too. Thanks for being on the show. And folks, all that information will be in the show notes. And this will go up, Richard, and it'll go up in a while. I can't give you an exact date.
In a while, what is this? Part of that damn core curriculum stuff? 1, 2, 3, a while, 4, 5.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. We've got about 4 videos ahead of him, but apart from that, so about a month. But now they're listening to it and they're going, well, I'm listening to it now, so it didn't take a month. Yeah, it took a month since we were talking about it, but you just didn't know.
So Richard, he's still recording. This is dangerous.
Yeah.
Would you recommend someone else coming on the show?
Definitely. I think everybody should. If you have a business or you just want to have some fun, I would say come on the show, man.
Have you been on a podcast before?
I have, and it was not as fun as this one. I can tell you that.
See, Ed, it's a different podcast. It's
It is.
relatable. It's authentic. It's creative. It's caring. It's really wanting to help the small business community.
Exactly. Yep, I agree.
That's what we do.
Yeah, folks. So if you're listening, you need to, engage Ed and Paul and try to get on the show. It's only going to be helpful.
Thank you, Richard. Do you have a dad joke that I can add to my, where dads keep their dad jokes? In a database.
Where's your dad joke background? He doesn't know that you are the author of multiple dad joke books, which can be purchased on Amazon. We'll do our own commercial.
Let's see if I can move the microphone out of the way for that.
Yeah, sure. You move it for that, but you won't move it for the Paul Bitmoji. You got pain and eat.
I have a dad joke.
Oh, this ought to be good.
If you're American in the living room, what are you in the bathroom?
I don't know.
Wait a minute, hold on. He usually gets every dad joke. Let him think.
I know a version of this, but I want to see where it goes.
If you're American in the living room, what are you in the bathroom?
European.
European.
The other one I heard is if you need to go to the bathroom really bad,
yeah,
you're Russian.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right, you're Russian. And when you come out of the bathroom, what are you? Finnish. So there's a version of that, but I didn't know what. I thought you might have been going with the European. So that's really good. I like that one, but I can add that version. Oh, here's one for you. What do you call a hen looking at a bowl of lettuce? A hen. My accent might mess it up, right? But you know what a hen is. You turn them into a chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
So chicken nuggets in New York. Right. Chicken nuggets in New York.
What do you call a hen looking at a bowl of lettuce? Chicken Caesar salad. I thought that one was pretty clever. It's not mine. I don't take credit for these. I just tell them. Folks, that's it. Follow us on all the socials, the tweets, and the Twitter.
Where are we? We're on YouTube. We're on Apple,
Apple,
we're on
Amazon,
iHeartRadio, Amazon,
Spotify.
Spotify, Richard
Yeah.
Polanco's Billboard. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
We are everywhere. So you can't get away from us. Resistance is futile. I don't know where I heard that line, but
That's the
probably
board.
assimilated.
Star Trek.
Oh no, I'm not giving them credit. Although I am a bit of a Star Trek and Star Wars fan. So, okay, Richard, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Depends on the day. I love them both.
Okay, so a sci-fi geek, right?
Definitely.
Firefly fan?
Yeah, I've watched Firefly, definitely.
Okay. There you go. Okay, cool. Well, good to know. Hey, folks, reach out to Richard if you need a home loan. Is it mostly mortgages that you do, Richard?
Yeah, well, we do mortgages, but we're also incorporating insurance, credit repair, and shortly we'll have business and hard money lenders.
Cool. There's another video you need to check out on my Nashville 2 podcast. It's with Michael Morrow, and he's a fun guy as opposed to a mushroom. He's a fun guy. And that's another dad joke for you folks. If you don't get it, email me.
Slip it in there real quick.
That's right. But he says, I don't do credit repair. I do credit restoration.
Oh, look at that.
So that was pretty good. So you got to check him out, but he would be another great guy to connect with. Thanks a lot, Richard. Thanks for being on the show, and have a great day.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
Thank
Well, that's it for this edition of the Wake Up Call with Ed and Paul. Thanks for listening. As always, we appreciate it. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can do that on your favorite podcast platform or YouTube. Thanks a lot and have a great day.